Published in 1966, Chinua Achebe's A Man of the People is a biting political satire that explores post-independence African politics through the lens of corruption, betrayal, and disillusionment. It reflects the transition of newly independent African nations from colonial rule to self-governance and the challenges that come with it. The novel is narrated by Odili Samalu, a young, idealistic schoolteacher who becomes disillusioned with the political elite, particularly his former teacher and political mentor, Chief Nanga, the titular man of the people. Odili Samalu is a bright and educated man, teaching in a rural school. He is initially full of admiration for Chief Nanga, a former teacher turned powerful politician and the Minister of Culture in the unnamed newly independent African country. When Chief Nanga visits Odili's school during a political tour, he invites Odili to stay with him in the capital. Odili, curious about the workings of government and tempted by the perks of power, accepts the invitation. However, Odili quickly becomes disillusioned. He witnesses firsthand the deep corruption, nepotism, and moral decay of the political class. Chief Nanga, once a man of the people, is now a symbol of excess and manipulation. He uses his influence for personal gain, rewards loyalty over competence, and suppresses dissent. Despite this, he remains popular with the masses due to his charisma, generosity, and the public perception that he takes care of his own. The turning point comes when Chief Nanga introduces Odili to a young woman named Elsie, whom both men are attracted to. Chief Nanga ends up sleeping with her, betraying Odili's trust. Humiliated and angry, Odili decides to take revenge, not just personal but political. He joins a new opposition party, the Common People's Convention, CPC, and runs against Chief Nanga in the upcoming election. Odili's campaign is met with harassment, violence, and manipulation orchestrated by the ruling party. Despite the CPC's ideals, it lacks resources and influence. As the election approaches, the situation turns chaotic. Chief Nanga's thugs physically assault Odili, nearly killing him. The ruling party goes on to rig the elections, ensuring a landslide victory. However, just as Chief Nanga and his allies celebrate their victory, a military coup is announced over the radio. The corrupt government is overthrown, and the novel ends with the people hoping that this new regime will bring real change. Post-independence disillusionment. At its heart, A Man of the People is a novel about the betrayal of independence. The euphoria of self-rule quickly gives way to the reality of selfish leaders who mimic the colonial powers they replaced. Through Odili's eyes, we see how independence, rather than liberating the people, has created a new elite class that is just as exploitative. Chief Nanga embodies this failure. Once a humble teacher, he transforms into a corrupt minister who prioritizes power and wealth over public service. Chief Nanga, charismatic corruption. Chief Nanga is one of Achebe's most memorable characters. He is not a cartoon villain but a charismatic and clever man who understands the political game. He manipulates both the system and the people with ease, blending populism with patronage. To the common people, he is a hero, a man who hands out money, provides jobs, and hosts generous parties. To educated critics like Odili, he represents everything wrong with the new political order. Odili Samalu, the flawed reformer. Odili, the narrator, starts off as idealistic but is not entirely immune to the temptations of power. His decision to oppose Chief Nanga is driven by both political conviction and personal resentment. He is intelligent and articulate, but also naive and self-righteous at times. Achebe doesn't present him as a perfect hero but as a representative of a generation torn between idealism and pragmatism. Satire and irony. Achebe uses satire and irony to expose the absurdities of political life in post-colonial Africa. From government contracts awarded without merit to ministers acquiring foreign bank accounts and luxury cars, the novel mocks the shallowness of the political elite. The names of political parties, like the Progressive Organization of the People, POP, and the Common People's Convention, CPC, are ironic. They promise democracy but serve authoritarian interests. The role of the masses. One of the most thought-provoking aspects of the novel is its portrayal of the masses, not just as victims but also as enablers of corruption. The people continue to support leaders like Chief Nanga because they see them as benefactors. In a society where institutions are weak and poverty is widespread, personal loyalty and material favors take precedence over accountability. The military coup. A false hope? The novel ends with a military coup, a dramatic but ambiguous conclusion. While the coup topples the corrupt regime, it raises questions. Will the new rulers be any better? Achebe doesn't provide easy answers. The coup may offer temporary relief, but it doesn't necessarily solve the deeper problems of corruption, patronage, and political immaturity. Given that the book was published just before the Nigerian military coup of 1966, Achebe's work was eerily prophetic. It reflects his deep insight into political trends and societal tensions in post-colonial Africa. A Man of the People is a powerful and prescient novel that exposes the pitfalls of post-independence African politics. Through sharp satire and complex characters, Achebe critiques the corruption, hypocrisy, and failures of leadership that have plagued many newly independent nations. Odili's narrative serves as both a personal coming-of-age story and a national allegory. His journey from admiration to disillusionment mirrors the broader societal awakening to the false promises of independence. Chief Nanga, both charming and dangerous, exemplifies how easily power can corrupt, especially when institutions are weak and accountability is absent. Achebe's message is clear but nuanced. Real change cannot come from charismatic leaders or military coups alone. It requires a conscious, engaged public, honest leadership, and strong democratic institutions. As such, A Man of the People remains relevant not just in Africa, but in any society grappling with the challenges of governance, corruption, and public trust.